The fracture just widened. And this time, they literally cannot hide it anymore. Let's go back 3 days. I showed you the first leaked Washington memo, the 3-page document that made Elon stop tweeting about AI overnight. Today, a second document surfaced. And if the first one was a warning shot, this one is the kill shot. Dated November 28, 2025. Signed by both Treasury and Commerce. Classification level, eyes only. The title is short, but it will live in history. Phase 2, Controlled De-risking of Artificial Intelligence Exposure. Translation for normal humans. Washington is preparing to pull the plug on the entire AI industry. Not in 5 years, not in 3 years, within the next 18 to 24 months maximum. Let me read you the 3 bullets that are making billionaires lose sleep right now. Bullet number 1. Starting March 2026, all new semiconductor export licenses for AI training clusters will be frozen indefinitely. That means no more chips for the next generation of GPTs, Claudes, or Groks. Bullet number 2. Every single tax incentive for building data centers gone in exactly 180 days. No more 40% tax credits. No more cheap land deals. No more state subsidies. Bullet number 3, the absolute nuke. A new national security surcharge of up to 60% on any AI-related capital expenditure over $500 million. Let that number sit with you for a second. 60% tax on every new GPU cluster, every new server farm, every new hyperscaler campus. Amazon had $42 billion committed for 2026 to 2028. Microsoft, $75 billion. Google, $50 billion. Meta, $40 billion. That's over $200 billion that just turned into pure poison overnight. And the stock market still hasn't priced in a single penny of it. Now turn to page 7, paragraph 4. I'm going to read it word for word. The current artificial intelligence investment bubble now exceeds, in real inflation-adjusted dollars, the combined peak valuations of the 2000 dot-com bubble and the 2008 subprime mortgage bubble together. They are telling you, in black and white government language, this is the biggest financial bubble in modern history, and they are willing to crash it on purpose before it crashes the entire system. Let's understand the gravity of these 3 bullets. The first bullet, the chip freeze, is an immediate stop on future innovation. It means the race for AGI ends.
The most advanced models currently in development will remain the most advanced models indefinitely. The pipeline of growth for Nvidia, for AMD, for the entire silicon ecosystem just ran dry. The second bullet, the elimination of data center tax breaks, targets the infrastructure backbone. These incentives were the invisible fuel for the AI boom, allowing massive companies to build gigantic digital fortresses at taxpayer expense. Without them, the marginal cost of scaling AI becomes punishingly high. It's not just slower growth, it's active decay of their cost advantage. And the third bullet, the 60% surcharge, is the financial executioner. It is a calculated move to stop investment in its tracks. Imagine trying to justify a multi-billion-dollar project when more than half of the capital expenditure goes directly to the US Treasury, labeled a national security surcharge. It turns every growth plan into a guaranteed loss. This isn't regulation, this is industrial policy designed to terminate the spending spree. Let's look at history for a moment. Not just the raw numbers, but the psychology of the crash. March 10th, 2000. Cisco Systems hits the highest valuation in history. Forward PE of 197. The stock never, ever recovered its all-time high until literally last month, 25 years later. But Cisco was a survivor. Do you remember Pets.com? Do you remember Webvan? 2,000 companies that defined the dot-com era went to zero, completely erased from history. That is the true risk here. Nvidia just hit a forward PE of 73, and the comparisons to 2008 are just as terrifying. The subprime bubble wasn't about bad companies. It was about toxic assets, hidden on balance sheets, threatening the systemic stability of the entire financial market. Washington's memo explicitly calls the AI investment cycle toxic exposure that must be de-risked. They are seeing a systemic threat, not just an economic slowdown. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And right now, the rhyme is getting very loud. The critical term here is controlled demolition. This is not an accident. This is not the Federal Reserve raising rates too high. This is a deliberate, targeted economic strike by Washington on the largest capital formation boom in a generation. Why? The document suggests two main reasons that go beyond finance. First, the geopolitical component.
The memo notes the unprecedented energy demands of the AI cluster build-out. Every new data center consumes the power of a small city. The US government cannot guarantee the grid stability or the supply chain security necessary for this exponential growth without diverting critical resources. They are prioritizing national energy stability over the growth of consumer AI products. Second, the concentration of power. The 5 largest companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and possibly Oracle, have cornered over 90% of the AI investment. The memo sees this hyper-concentration of computing power as an existential risk, creating a single point of failure that the government cannot effectively regulate or break up. The 60% tax is a mechanism to force that concentration to dissolve and decentralize the technology, even if it means crashing the market capitalization of the Magnificent Seven. The entire trillion-dollar valuation of the AI sector is built on the assumption of infinite growth, infinite chips, and zero friction from the government. That assumption just died on November 28, 2025. The insiders already know. Elon Musk sold another $3 billion of Tesla stock last week. That's his 6th multi-billion dump this year. Mark Zuckerberg sold $428 million of Meta shares in the last 12 trading days alone. Jensen Huang filed to sell another 2 million Nvidia shares starting January 2026. Sam Altman quietly moved OpenAI's legal headquarters to Singapore 14 days ago. We need to pause on this point. The insiders are not just trimming, they are liquidating massive percentages of their holdings, sacrificing control and potentially alarming their boards because they saw the document. They know the difference between market volatility and a coordinated government shutdown. Selling $3 billion in Tesla stock is not rebalancing. It's a profound vote of no confidence in the regulatory environment of the United States. Moving a company's legal domicile to Singapore, as Sam Altman did, is a direct acknowledgement that the future of their technology cannot rely on Washington, D.C. Their actions are screaming what their PR teams are desperately trying to silence. The game is over. The smart money is exiting the casino before the doors lock. This is the clearest indicator of systemic risk we have seen since the Lehman Brothers bankruptcy in 2008. Do not listen to the press releases. Watch what the CEOs are doing with their own cash. The final piece of the puzzle is Wall Street. Analysts are still projecting double-digit growth for these magnificent 7 stocks through 2027. They are running on old assumptions. They have not and cannot price in a 60% capital expenditure tax or a total freeze on the core inputs of their business, the chips. The disconnect between the government's operational plan and Wall Street's financial modeling is the largest arbitrage opportunity or the largest financial trap, depending on which side of the trade you are standing. They are not trimming. They are not rebalancing. They are running. Here is the exact timeline from the document. First quarter 2026. Export controls go live. No more chips. Second quarter 2026. Every tax break disappears. No more free money. Fourth quarter 2026. The 60% surcharge becomes law. No more capex. 2027. The trillion-dollar AI investment wave officially ends. That is not a correction. That is not a bear market. That is a controlled demolition of the most overvalued sector in human history. When the last data center light turns off, the recession everyone says isn't coming will already be here. So what do you do right now? 3 moves. Cold, calculated, no emotion. Move number 1.
If you are overweight any of the Magnificent 7, start reducing exposure this week. Not panic selling. Systematic dollar cost average out. Move number 2. Move at least 20% of your liquid net worth into assets that survived 2008 untouched. Short-term U.S. Treasuries, physical gold, or broad commodity ETFs. Move number 3. Keep dry powder, cash or cash equivalents, because when the real crash comes, you will be able to buy the best companies on earth for pennies on the dollar. The fracture is no longer coming. It is here. Comment fracture right now if you finally see it. Subscribe because the next leak drops in exactly 48 hours, and this time it names the exact companies that will be zero by the end of 2026. The clock is running. See you on the other side of the line.